Christian, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Antoine.
Islam, you've lived in Lebanon, Czech Republic, Germany. Now you're in the UAE. Why start your company in the UAE?
Interesting. I did my master's in Europe, like between the Czech Republic and Germany, and then I had the amazing opportunity of working with one of the greatest, I would say, minds in everything related to language technology and Arabic language technology, specifically Professor Nizar Habash, who's based at NYU Abu Dhabi. And yeah, I did that like right off the uni, I would say, train. And كثير حبيت العيشة هون. Can I speak in Arabic or is it in English or?
We should keep it in English.
Okay, okay. And I, after living here for 2 years, like living the kind of academic journey, I worked as a research assistant for 2 years at NYU Abu Dhabi. Uh, the ecosystem here in Abu Dhabi, I'm not talking about the startup ecosystem or anything, just the life ecosystem is very conducive to work. Like it allows you to focus. There aren't many distractions. It's not like you hear about Dubai generally. People keep asking me, how's Dubai? How's Dubai? I'm like, yo, I live in Abu Dhabi, not Dubai. It is very calm, very chill. It allows you to, like, if you have something you want to work on, you want to dig deep into it, Abu Dhabi is the place to be. Everything is taken care of for you. Like, it's crazy. The services you have here allow you to just focus and zero in on whatever you want to do.
Are
Many
we
people
talking
misuse
about
it.
government support or are we talking
Not go,
about
no, just like the services. It's a country of services here. They do that pretty well. And there's something for everything. There's a guy for everything. So like if generally you want to focus on something without having too many things to think of, oh, I gotta pay I gotta pay my bills. I mean you gotta pay your bills here also, but like it's so much easier here to do these things than I feel in other places. So you get more time to focus on whatever you want.
Christian, you did a thesis on dialects, Arabic dialects. That's right.
I
And
did.
and that was a couple of years ago. And today you're starting a company that specializes in Arabic dialects. So was this always kind of a an interest of yours?
Yeah, that was for my master's thesis. So I'm always like proud of that thesis because like I spent so much time on it. It was during COVID, like you had nothing else to do. I
Yeah.
kind of secluded myself in my village home for like 4 or 5 months. I was working on it like 12 hours a day. Uh, and it was about dealing with the problem of orthography in Arabic dialect. So orthography is the writing systems of languages and the rules and that generally like there are rules to write orthography rules for French, for English, for Arabic. For Arabic dialects, there are no rules because they've never actually been standardized into official languages, as you might know, of course, and many people know. And people tend to write them in a very spontaneous way. Like you might write the same word in two or three different ways, can go up to, I don't know, 20 different ways, even sometimes for some words. And believe it or not, it's still not a solved problem today. There's a big problem in everything related to Arabic data in general, and Arabic digital content out there, which is one of the reasons why this problem is still not solved. And I decided to tackle it and from different aspects. And yeah, I would say this led me to, I kept on this journey of working on Arabic language resource creation, Arabic tools for processing Arabic. That's what I did at NYU Abu Dhabi. That's what I'm doing now and what I want to keep doing. I feel like that's my calling. I have something to contribute there. So yeah, that's I
And
would.
just for context, for people who don't really know the Arabic language or region, it's not just a couple million people. The Arabic speaking countries expand to how
400,
many?
for more than like the number that's commonly cited today is more than 400 million people. Like there's no, I don't know the exact number, but the number you keep seeing getting repeated is more than 400 million. It's crazy.
I mean, it's
Incredible.
insane that for such a big market, there's nothing has been standardized for the language. And did
For no,
you,
no. So there is standard Arabic and everything is standardized there. Everything is official. But the main way people communicate is which is through like their own, like
yeah,
even the word dialect is kind of a misnomer. They're not dialects. Some people like consider them to be separate languages. Uh, I wouldn't go as far as saying they're separate languages. There's a very tight relationship between standard Arabic and Arabic dialects, quote unquote, which is what we call a diglossic relationship. It's like you use them, but for different purposes. I mean, you'll never see two Arabs on the street talking to each other in standard Arabic. Have you ever seen
yeah,
that?
you're right.
But still, believe it or not, most of uh, Arabic teaching as a second language today, this whole field kind of still is in the habit of focusing on standard Arabic, teaching people who don't know Arabic. The first thing they teach them is standard Arabic. Um, this recently, over the past few, like maybe decade or two, I've been speaking with a lot of people of interest, people who specialize in teaching Arabic as a second language. This has been changing. There are a lot of voices in that community who are uh, uh, pushing for having a more integrated approach of learning Arabic, of basically getting some colloquial or spoken Arabic into curriculums. And I think the field is changing, definitely. We're getting there. There is, I would say, one thing which is still not, you don't see a lot is AI integration into that field. So there is very, very low AI penetration into the field of um, teaching Arabic in general for multiple reasons. And we want to contribute in that, I would say,
It's
at
still
Aralect.
since now everyone more or less understands standard Arabic, but no one really speaks it. It's just like a common way for people to understand each other. Do you feel like if we go into written dialects, then it would kind of create separation between different countries? Because right now we're all unified by the standard Arabic. Do you feel like you're kind of dividing this
Definitely,
vast nation?
definitely not. Definitely not. For the simple reason that, as I just told you, like, okay, you say we're unified by standard Arabic, right? But like, I interact with many people from the Maghreb region here, for example, in the UAE. I've never switched to like to standard Arabic when I don't understand what they're saying. They've never switched. Like most of the time, you either switch to French or you switch to English. And we keep saying that standard Arabic unifies us all as if it's some kind of common tongue between the the Arab people, which is not the case. And that's the relationship between standard and the spoken, which is, I call again diglossia. Like that's a super important word. I wrote an article about it as because on my blog it was the first opening article. Uh, Diglossia has been studied for many, many years now. It's Arabic is not the only language which is diglossic. There are other languages also. Diglossia means when you have two variants of a language and each one of those variants serves a specific purpose. Like generally, standard Arabic is used for news, for poetry, for literature, everything that's kind of like requires a standardized system of doing things. But like throughout your daily life, most of the time you interact with dialectal content more than standard content, right? And it's super important to understand that concept because mainly Arabs sometimes don't see it themselves. Like we've been taught since we were children that, oh, dialect is like a this is bad Arabic, or it's like a deviation from the standard. Like this is wrong both historically and from a linguistic perspective. And I feel like this is mainly the thing that divides us because the more you stigmatize spoken Arabic and dialectal Arabic, the less likely it is that you will teach it in a way that is standardized. And the less likely it is that maybe you will learn other dialects even from other people in other Arab countries, and the less likely it is that you guys will speak Arabic together. And that's what I think divides people today. Not that, of course, they're different dialects, but that's this complexity, this richness, this variety in these dialects. That's what's beautiful, and that's what I think we should capitalize on. Not set it aside, like put it under, push it under the rug, but actually, like just take it out and do something beautiful with it. And wanna do that. I wanna do that. It's tough. There are so many obstacles. I would say the obstacles are not technological obstacles because like at the lab where I've been working at the Camel lab, computational approaches for modeling language lab at NYU Abu Dhabi, headed by Professor Nizar Habash. They specialize, along with other labs in the world also, in creating technologies for and tools for Arabic and Arabic dialects. And they've been doing a pretty good job at that. And we have solutions for many of these problems, but now the it's a matter of how to commercialize these solutions, how to bring them to light, how to convince stakeholders that this is something that's important. And that's what I've been struggling with the most for the past 9 months, I would say, throughout my journey.
So that's why Aralect was born.
That's how it was born. Like the tip of the iceberg story of how it was born, as there was my friend, she's a heritage speaker of Lebanese Arabic, lived in Kuwait her whole life, but like still is a heritage speaker. She's also half US citizen. I started kind of giving her some lessons in Lebanese Arabic, and then I just like the more you search on the internet for tools or resources to kind of teach this thing, that the more you realize that, I mean, it's really, really lacking out there. And I figured that I might put my knowledge to good use. And I took a risk. I left my job. I don't know if right now, in retrospect, that's what I should have done from the beginning. I mean, I didn't quit my job immediately. I think I went through some initial stages of validation. I joined an incubator while I was in a full-time freelance job. And we went through the incubator, we pitched at the end. I got some good feedback from the jury. I even had a meeting with one of the investors on the jury after the competition. They gave like the honorable mention to the idea. I wasn't eligible for the prize because it was a student incubator. So that kind of gave me the confidence to go and to kind of set aside my job and work on this full time. In retrospect, I would say I might have done that too soon, or maybe not. I mean, you never know why things happen the way they happen. I've learned so much during the past 9 months. It's been really, really like a very intense journey, full
So,
of re
Christoph, talk to us about some of these challenges. I mean, starting your company has, like
oh,
you said, you left the comfort of of something, a job, and now you're starting your own company. What are like the main challenges that you face or still facing?
yeah. Um, it will vary from founder to founder, I guess. For me, it was it's like it goes along two main axes, I would say. Like it's about the team. For me, that's I'm talking about myself here. It's like finding a team and finding your kind of your voice in this ecosystem of entrepreneurship and like networking and all of that. Um, I went and started to I tried to start forming a team really early on. Like I onboarded so many people on an equity and part-time basis, and it was really fulfilling to see like all of these people are kind of like they're seeing the idea, they're liking it enough to invest like part of their week and time into it. Um, at some point I had like 12 people on partnership, like sweat equity on a sweat equity basis working with me. That turned out to be a complete disaster because the more you move on, the more you see that I was the only one that was actually fully invested in the idea, and I
Mhm.
was the only one having skin in the game. And I had to ultimately uh, make many of the decisions myself because these people, they were not, I love them all. Like I really like each and every one of them. I am so thankful for having believed in the idea and jumped on board, if only for some time. But they don't have skin in the game. They don't, I mean, fire is not under their asses. Like they're not the ones living without a salary for a couple, like it's been months right now. And they don't have the urgency that the full-time founder would be having, right? And that will create some conflicts within the team and within the, and that
Sure.
was
So
one of
was that a big one? Like people didn't take it as seriously as you did?
they took it seriously, but like when you onboard people, and many of those people have never been in a startup before, so they don't know the startup ways and kind of how things should operate, how you should be like cutting corners whenever you can, do like having something out as soon as possible. I'm not gonna pin it all on them. Like did my fair share of mistakes, and it took me a lot of time, for example, to figure out what my MVP would be. I figured it out. Like glad to say I think I cracked the code 2 months ago, but it was, I would say, 5 months too late because like every month for me of delay is like a month without income, and I'm like short right now. So um, we were saying, can you like repeat
The
the question?
challenges, just the challenges you were
Yeah, yeah,
facing.
the challenges, but no, we were along one specific line here of like these people working.
You said you had about 12 people coming in. They didn't have the
Mhm.
same sense of urgency.
Exactly. So anyway, that was one of the problems, and at some point, like the team was there and was willing to execute. That's one other thing, but I still hadn't figured out what the MVP should be. It was a very complicated MVP to have. Like the landscape of edtech and language learning apps today is quite a hard one to navigate, and it's new to me also. I'm not really in the teaching space. I'm more in the technology kind of AI language technology space. So it was something that I had to discover. I think right now I have a pretty good grasp of it, but it took me some time to get there. And so at some point, the team was like able to execute, but still, I did not give it anything to execute on. So, for example, these are things that that's why I would say, I mean, you can, it's all, like, there's some of the blame that goes on you also, I guess. Like, it's not only the people you're working with. Um, the second axis, I would say, which was I like that was the first one, like the team. Also, the fact that I mean, it's been very hard for me to find co-founders for this. I mean, for people to jump full time on board. Uh, I guess it's always going to be hard before I get my product out, which is the goal for the next month right now. I'm glad to say that we'll have a product like an MVP ready. I would say by the beginning of June, we're going to start testing in June in closed circles. So then I feel like the conversations with potential stakeholders or co-founders will take a different turn, and will have a different quality to them. Um,
So Christian, let's pivot to the product. So what are exactly the services that will be offered to customers?
So we're creating Aralect is actually a mobile app. It would be the first mobile app that's dedicated to learning Arabic dialect, that's AI powered, that's gamified, that's self-paced, obviously, because you have a mobile app, you have your own curriculum uh, that you can navigate at your own pace. What do I mean by AI powered? One of the main pain points today of the language learning app industry is that all of these big players like Duolingo, Babbel, Busuu, Mango languages, they offer you curricula that are Like if I took the Arabic course on Duolingo, and if you, Antoine, took the Arabic course on Duolingo, 90% of the content, if not more, that you would be seeing is going to be the same content that I'm seeing in the same sequence. Meaning that there is no personalization component that is deep enough to understand what it should feed you at that specific moment in terms of what do you want to learn right now? Antoine, I want to learn about, I don't know, ordering food at the restaurant right now. That's what I need, right? And uh, as a second point, to teach you, to recommend content to you based on your current, on your progress. So these two things today I feel are really lacking in the language app industry, and we're working on that problem specifically. Even though we're called Aralects, short for Arabic dialects, I think we're solving a problem that's much bigger than that. I'm proposing a framework through my product, hopefully, that addresses these problems in the language learning app market. And I'm approaching it from targeting the Arabic market specifically because it's hugely, hugely, hugely underserved. We're talking about a market which our market analysis estimates to be in the order of 40 million people. There are 40 million potential customers today, I would say, for this market. One hugely untapped market for the Arabic language learning kind of scene here is native speakers like you and like me. I mean, have you ever seen an app which kind of allows you to learn another dialect as a native speaker, right? Not as someone who's just starting and you need to learn the ABCs and go through some curriculum.
Yeah.
And so many people want that, especially when you come here and you live in the Gulf and you have such like so many Arabs that are interacting with each other and you feel the language barriers. Many a time you feel the language barriers, and anyone who lives here will tell you that. Um, that's a huge market that no one has even touched today. No one has even dared to touch. And
Christian, it's not just in the region. I feel like people who live in the West who are from, Arab descent that want to learn the language of their parents, they can't really do
heritage
it. Yeah.
heritage speakers. Why is that? That's because of the very low AI personalization components of most language learning apps. I mean, you go into the app, you start like you want to know, okay, where should I start right now? Should I start at this point? Yeah, but that's too boring. Like I know already like most of that stuff. Okay, maybe I'll try jumping a bit ahead in the curriculum. I'll go to that point. Oh, that's too difficult. Like I feel right now like I'm overwhelmed. Like you've spent maybe an hour on the app or so, then you'll just like give up and you'll stop using the app. So you need a mechanism that will immediately give you what you need because like you will lose customer like you will use users really fast in a scenario like this. If a user has interacted with your app more than 30 minutes, 1 hour, and has felt overwhelmed either by being bored or by being overwhelmed because the content is too difficult, you've lost them. So that's the problem I'm addressing right now through integration of like the latest today like LLMs, man. Let's make use of that. LLMs are great at generating text. They're great at generating scenarios and ideas, and that's what language learning is about at the end of the day. If you're learning language in the wild, okay, that's called immersive learning. You're just like you're put in a situation. We throw you at a farmer's market, and you just try to figure out like what's happening. You start hearing the target language, you start interacting with the native speakers, ask them, oh, okay, what is that word? And then from one thing to the other, you start putting the pieces together. And that's the most effective way to learn a language, by the way, but it's the hardest way also. So
But
you
but
can't
Christian, did you see this the evolution of these LLMs as a kind of like challenging what you're building, or you're leveraging the
not at
improvement of the
all.
technology for your advantage, to your advantage?
Today, today, I don't know if you've seen, but Duolingo, which is the biggest player in the market, released 5 days or a week ago a statement saying that they're gonna start cutting hugely on contractor costs. Basically, what they mean by contractors is language teachers, because most like their curriculums, what are they? They bring language teachers in. They tell them, please, can you design a text curriculum for me? they're gonna somehow integrate it into their databases in a very static way, and that's what the users will see. But that's a problem for like many reasons. One of them being that first of all is like it's costly to hire language teachers for such purposes. And second of all, what the language teachers will give you is a static curriculum, which you cannot very easily personalize uh, to
Yeah.
learners. I'm not saying LLMs can replace teachers, not at all. Like there is no replacement, and there is no question that language teachers and learning in a classroom today and in environments where you can talk with real people, there's no replacement for that, for learning a language, actually. Yeah.
Okay. So, Christian, I want to end with this. It's been a couple of months. We can feel the passion, the genuine love of the field, the chaos, all of it together. And so, where do you see this going in a couple of months, in a year? What's the main milestone you're trying to hit besides launching your product? When is the moment you will say, I made it, this worked? What do you need to say this?
Having my product. Like it took some time, but I think we're there. I'm almost there. I'll have something to start testing with in a month. And I hope that I can start fundraising again once I have this product. The main mistake I did was trying to fundraise with before having my product, but I figured this out, and now I'm full gas on the product building. So, and hopefully people will like this. I mean, we've put a lot of thought into it, tried to look at all the different solutions in the market, taking the bad, taking the good, synthesizing it into something new. And I'm seeing a lot of the big players going in the direction that we're going in right now. I don't see this as a competition because I think our edge is being specialized in Arabic, which is a very big market. Arabic is a tough language to process also. So I say we have an edge there. And hopefully we have something novel to offer to the world and something useful.
Christoph, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you, Antoine, and my pleasure. I thank you for being a good host, great host.